Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here I am on camera playing against Matt on Elves. Matt has been seen quite a lot on camera, puts up very good results with a variety of decks. Elves is certainly a deck that you can improve your technical abilities through repetition. Oh, it's not Elves, it's Doomsday, never mind. I was going to say that bayou looks super dark. It's actually Doomsday, and this is yet another example of a new deck for him. Personal Tutor, Finding Doomsday. Oh, I think I remember this match. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in for a significant misplay at some point during this match. Now, Ponder takes a look at the top three, and one of them's good enough. Nomad and Core turning sideways. That art was available this year. I actually considered getting the Nomad and Core and Cephalid Illusionist. They both came onto the market around the same time, but just wasn't quite where I want to be making those investments in the middle of the pandemic and all. Dark Ritual into Doomsday. We'll see. I may end up regretting that later, or I might just be super patient and get them like 20 years from now and be fine with that as well. Very patient person. Doomsday. It's a dangerous card. Now, in general, Doomsday is the type of card that can resolve, and you might be okay with that, but I'll tell you, with some of these new piles, it's really playing with fire. So you've got... right now, Cavern of Souls makes the Thassa's Oracle uncounterable. That's going to be their most common path to victory. And the rest of the cards can also be uncounterable as well, just sometimes being things like Street Wraith. And we've got Brainstorm, Crack, LED. Matt is all in. One card left, it's Street Wraith. He's got blue mana floating, Street Wraith, cycling, Street Wraith down to 3, and the final card is going to be Thassa's Oracle with 1 mana floating. Oh, and a double daze to steal the game. Cephalid Illusionist was in hand, so if Matt played it any slower, he wouldn't have gotten there. Wow. Wow, that was a close one. I may have to rewatch that one after and try and think of any piles. Go ahead and in the comments if you can think of a pile that would have worked there for Matt. That is brutal. Dead on the crackback if you don't have some type of counter magic. Lion's Eye Diamond does make you discard your hand, so you're not going to be able to defend yourself. Double daze. Underground Sea for Matt. Underground Sea on my side of the table into an Aether Vial, which is a problem card. Matt's going to brainstorm in response. Perhaps, it's a little bit of a risk, and that Brainstorm's not going to be as optimal here. Probably digging for a Force of Will, and he looks like he finds it. Perhaps also optimizing the blue cards to use alongside Force. And Ponder. That gets a shuffle. The expected result there, one of those cards stranded on top of the library was from Brainstorm, so you'd often see that card get shuffled away. So, in terms of the raw power of those cantrips, traded off for the ability to deny that Aether Vial, and another Aether Vial comes down, and isn't that the way? You make a play, you make a sacrifice to try and stop something like Aether Vial, and they just draw another one. Absolutely brutal. Aether Vial does make the combo uncounterable to a degree. It makes your combo pieces uncounterable. And Ponder shoring up the defenses, finding counter magic perhaps finding combo pieces. Dark Ritual into Doomsday. And we're able to skip over that process, which is a lengthy one. It's a little bit of a... It was a tiny bit of a concern with Doomsday in terms of playing in tournaments, is just the time. But I think tournament rules can certainly handle that. I would say playing Doomsday optimally requires significant homework to make sure that you actually know what your Doomsday piles are going to be. You can't really be assessing all of the possibilities when you cast Doomsday. There's far too many different ways that you could do it. So you really have to have a short list of options. And occasionally you might find yourself in a tough situation. But, you know, honestly, if you're in a situation that you haven't thought of in testing, you're probably not going to figure it out on the fly. And now Cephalid Illusionist. No Nomad to go along with it, however. What is going on here? Aether Vial. Activates, puts in Grand Abolisher. And that's probably a wrap. Cycling Street Wraith. Well, that's a... Yeah, we got to check on that. Yeah, Street Wraith is not a creature when you're cycling it, so that's not going to be stopped by Grand Abolisher. That is totally fine. I believe that's what we were checking here. Matt draws his card, and now Meddling Mage comes down. And swinging in there for 1. So Shuko would represent lethal. Oh no. Massacre. There's a Force of Will. Yeah, Shuko would be hilarious here. No +1 damage, unfortunately, so Matt gets 1 more turn. However, Street Wraiths won't work. Not a lot of cards left in the library. And now, bouncing the Meddling Mage. Oh no, I remember this. Yep. Bounce the Meddling Mage, and then casting Thassa's Oracle. No chance to respond with Aether Vial, as Matt retains priority after the bounce spell resolves. And I had a Daze in hand. What a disaster. That is a huge misplay. As dazing there, while it wouldn't have countered anything, it would have made Matt pay the 1. And I mean, I guess it would have effectively countered it. I'm not sure how to best verbalize this, but he had exactly enough mana to do the bounce spell and the Thassa's Oracle. However, only the Thassa's Oracle is uncounterable. So if you daze targeting that bounce spell, well, he's got to pay the 1, or the Meddling Mage remains. Either way, that's good enough. And that is a tough one to lose right there. You got 1 decision to make, and you make the wrong decision. On the play here for breakfast. There's always the possibility of turn 1 Nomad, turn 2 Cephalid, though honestly, in my experience, the Magic gods don't tend to smile upon heinous misplays. They do on occasion. Basic Plains, that is not going to get picked up off of the board, so Massacre will be live for the entirety of this match, as we just saw one of the cards floating around in Matt's deck. Very dangerous. And, you know, singletons, I guess there's not a lot of talk about Doomsday in general. Singletons play a very interesting role in a deck like Doomsday, in part because there's just so much tutoring going on in its main game plan. Your game plan is literally to cast Doomsday, so you can have singletons in there that can give you just an incredible amount of versatility in handling some of the uglier situations you might find. So Polluted Delta fetches up a Personal Tutor, and now Personal Tutor grabs that Massacre. And Street Wraith cycles to find it on this turn. And here comes the Massacre. There's a Force of Will. Pitching Thassa's Oracle. However, Daze pushes it through, and that is a blowout line right there. Brainstorm for breakfast. Massacre getting that 2-for-1, but most importantly, clearing the way for Doomsday to be cast. And now we've got a hard cast Daze. Matt happy to discard his hand. He's going to have a lethal library. Now, it is a question of, do you just go for the shotgun win? How would you play this? You could just load up a bunch of cyclers into your Thassa's Oracle. You'll have 1 mana to pay for Daze, but you are going to lose to Force of Will. On the other side of that, you could give yourself the ability to have Cavern of Souls as backup and make this uncounterable. Let me know how you would play it in this situation. Do you go for the faster win, or without any combo pieces on board, do you try and play it a little bit slower? Put the Cavern on top, play a Cavern, and then cycle all the way through to your Thassa's Oracle? It is a decision. Speed versus resiliency. Matt, playing it slower, draws a card and says go. Cabal Therapy, hits a Street Wraith, it's of no consequence. Cycling Street Wraith here. And now Thassa's Oracle with no resistance, so 2 cards left in the library. Thassa's Oracle, no need to even continue the cycling, as that is going to do it. And Matt wins a match filled with complicated decisions. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.